How are you this morning? Sparkling eyes today. Wow. Some beautiful revelations as I went downstairs to take the garbage and recycling down, and wanted to reflect it to everyone. Just went downstairs, had the big box in my hand, and going into the garbage room, and here the recycling guy was there, kind of orange vest and work boots and all that kind of stuff. And he gave me a big, huge smile, and he says, "Hey, I can take that for you." And he took it off and put it in the truck. He didn't have to, or anything like that. I didn't even ask. And it just was beautiful. And I put the rest of the stuff in the garbage room, and I came out, and there was one of the groundskeepers, beautiful, tall African man, and he was cleaning up garbage in a little sweeper, whatever you call it, dustbin or whatever, and I got to see this beautiful reflection. And the minute I saw it, it kind of expanded to the whole world. My son stayed over last night, and I was just seeing him downstairs by taking the garbage out, and he's a landscaper. Some people may call that kind of a dirty job that nobody would want to do, laboring in warm weather and in the dirt and just covered with muck and bug bites and all these kind of things. But there's a perfection that my son Kyle aspires to. And I see the angel in that, because I have that same longing for perfection in everything I do. I was preparing breakfast for him, and I was making a bagel, and it was like just being precise. Not that I'm a perfectionist, but just doing it to the best of my ability. Having a bagel cutter, and then using the bagel cutter to try and make it so that the bagel's perfectly 50-50, and then you put it in the toaster and you toast it. I toasted until the first cycle, and then I rotate it and toast it again, and that makes a perfect caramelization. And preparing the iced tea and all these things. He does the same thing. He longs for straight lines when they're laying sod. He longs for raking up the rocks to the best of his ability. He longs to shine out an example of doing things to its best. It could be an ugly job where you're just throwing sod down on the ground and hoping to get paid and all this kind of stuff, or you could make it a dance or an art, like a painter would do. And he was so proud. I went and had lunch with him where they'd laid 36 pallets of sod. That's a frigging enormous amount of sod. 6 people laid in 4 hours 36 pallets of sod. I bet you there's 50 or 100 rolls on each one of those. So a shitload of sod, and each one of them are heavy and they're dirty, and you got to carry it from the pallet to the spot and then get it all lined up so that they all line, and then take a knife and cut off the edges around the paths and all this kind of stuff. And he was so proud, and I was so proud of him, because doing things to their best when you could do a half-ass job, which is happening a lot in this world, is the mark of an angel. And you can make your own decisions about my son if you met him or whatever. I see a lot of angels in my world. I believe I'm an angel. I believe a lot of the people listening on this broadcast are angels, if not all of them. But we're all in different stages of waking up, of understanding who we are, what we are, and starting to take self-responsibility for all these things. And as you move more into consciousness, we start to see outside of us kind of like a perfection in everything we do. A dance where we interact with other people, we talk to them, we share our traumas, we share our positives and ups and downs and beautiful experiences together. But the mark of an angel, holy cow, we got solar flares popping off major today. The mark of an angel in my world is someone that's endeavoring to do better, to do the best with what they've been given, to do the best, um, and set the best example for others, and to do things to perfection. What's the use of doing things half-assed, which is very common nowadays, and it's all about the money and not caring, because my son talks about it all the time, of all these people that are coming in and they don't last a week or a day on the job site, where they don't give a damn. They just want some money, and here's a job, and thank God even that they got a job. It's just like they owe you. He had a guy that after 5 hours on the job site said, "Hey, where's the washroom?" And he never returned. And I guess that's quite normal. So the mark to see the angel inside yourself is how much are you honoring the experience of whatever you're doing, like making toast, vacuuming the floor, being a landscaper, being a garbage man, being a computer person, being a secretary, receptionist, whatever your role is. How much are you doing it to the best of your ability? How much are you shining the light and the example out to other people of the perfection of what can be by being yourself and being that role in this moment? How much are you immersing in the experience rather than just getting through it? How much is it about the money, and how much about it is how it feeds you? Once we start to self-reflect and start to self-source, we start to see that it has nothing to do with the job. It has everything to do with our attitude, how our feeling is, whether or not we're finding stuff that feeds us or just doing it because it makes us a bunch of money. How many of us have had a job where it's like literally almost prostituting ourselves? Some people could see a landscaping job like that. It's like, oh, my body is so exhausted and stuff like that. But my son, in his job, he gets like a Zen peace out of it and a massive sense of accomplishment, because for the rest of his life, he's going to be able to walk in that park or in that where those houses are and where those yards are, and know that he put that sod down and did it well, and it's not full of lumps and bumps. And that's the perfection, the angelics of stepping into whatever you are, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, and doing it to the best of your ability, and knowing and getting a sense of feeding yourself from doing and being that thing in the moment. And how many of us are lost in the monotony of what we're doing and just trying to get through the day? You see the difference. You see the people that are just like dead and just trudging through the day. And then you see those sparks. How many of us see it? Like I said, they're a garbage man. Like that's an art form to him, to do it right, to lift the dumpsters and dump them in without dropping anything on the ground and stuff like that. And they probably got a perfection to it, and it's amazing. And you see it in their face. He had a big smile, and his clothes were clean, and he wasn't filthy and covered with muck and all this kind of stuff. But he cared about what he did. And same did that caretaker I spoke at the beginning, for the yard. It was like his dust bucket was right full of crap that people had dumped all over the place, and cleaned up the space so it looks nice. So we're seeing angels all around us. Other ones that are really good, I find, is gas station attendants or convenience store clerks. They sit there, and I watch, because I go to some of the convenience stores all the time, and they're beautiful people, but certain people, their just response is just flat and hello ma'am and whatever, and they take a lot of shit sometimes. But when I show up, or somebody that smiles back to them or whatever, they just like pop out of the kind of spell they're in, and then they want to shine, and hey, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while. What's going on in your world? And it's a 3-sentence interaction sometimes, but I see their light, and they bring my light out. How are you doing that in your days? When do you do that, where you reach out to someone maybe you don't know and say hi to them? And both of those people, I'm like, hey, you have a great day. And they got another big smile out of it, because we co-created in that moment. We shared our angel essence with each other and made a better world. And how many times have we been taught by society, religion, culture, etc., to not respond to other people, or kind of hide ourselves, or just be this kind of robot? And it's like, uh, uh, have a great day or whatever. Or what's the one? Well, we say every morning when we talk to people, it's like, hey, how are you? And they say, not too bad. I always laugh when I hear that, because it's like, it's not so bad I'm dead. Because that's really what we're saying. We've kind of hedged from going good to not too bad, which is like a mindset thing. I've retrained myself to say good, whether it's good or bad. I say good so that at least I'm starting to create the next thing. And really stating bad just creates a little mud bucket or mud puddle for both people, commiserating in this energy of not being okay with what's going on. So when are you shining your angel self? When do you give that little extra smile, that flash, that whatever to other people, so that they have an opportunity to smile back, and give them permission, make them, you can't make anybody do anything, but give them the opportunity to feel safe in being their angel self, so that more and more and more, that's our normal, and people will shine out and just love you, and then you'll feel safe to do that, and you'll build a community around you of people that are like that. I live in an apartment building now. It's not my typical, but in an apartment building, you have dozens of neighbors, and most people are head down, looking down at the floor when they're passing you or whatever. I just like to say, hey, how are you? Have a great day, or whatever, not to make people feel uncomfortable. But, and then if people are up to it, give them eye contact, give them a bit of a smile, and like, hey, you don't need to have to say a word. And some people will see that as creepy, and some people will see that as beautiful and authentic. And then 10 to 1, next time they see you in the hallway, they're going to say, hey, how are you? And it's like, oh, wow, I broke the ice just by smiling, just by opening. How much in this world, with all the V's and all the other things that we got going on in the world, where we've been like taught it's only safe if we stay in our bubble, or whatever, where right now it's time to open and start to flash that smile, and hope for the possibility. And maybe that person just begging to say hi to you. Or how many times do you have neighbors that take care of you or bring you a gift or whatever? In my old life, and where I grew up, that was normal. People would come over and help you fix your car and do things, and that's where we're getting back to, is opening to our angel selves, opening to intention of love and whatever, and not being fearful that a bad reaction is going to happen, but just trusting that it's all going to work out, and that this is, well, you don't have to put yourself in an unsafe situation, but how unsafe is it just to smile and say hi to somebody, or hold the elevator door for them when they're, or open the door for them, I always get a big smile and a big thanks and all that kind of stuff, and then they feel safe to do that to other people. So where are the angel moments in your life? Where are the moments that make you feel really good and fed? And they might be a 3-second interaction, but the more 3-second interactions we can have throughout the course of a day brings up the vibration of everything. Those angels are looking for an invitation to come out. They're looking for the all clear. Is it safe? Can I put my head out? And you don't have to go and put your head out on the chopping block or whatever. I'm just talking that little smile, that little giggle or laugh, or looking into the little kid's eyes. I love that. Children are such a blessing. That's where the biggest angels I see are these big bright eyes, and they look up at me and they see something different. And I don't want to put anything to that, but they see my big smiling, maybe child eyes coming back at them, and they're like, holy cow, I don't meet adults that are like that. So they're curious. Babies will be looking over mom's shoulder and giggling and smiling at me. Those are angel moments. Those are pure moments of being ourselves. And I just love to tilt my head and act silly or whatever for that little guy or girl, and they'll giggle, and mom's looking back, and then she's smiling, and maybe brother is too, or whatever. Such innocence, such playfulness that's possible just by opening and smiling and trusting that the world's getting better, and trusting that we're surrounded by people that want the same, that have just been scared by news and control and government and all this kind of stuff that it's not safe. But it's wrong. It is safe. Find those few little steps. Show those angels that it's okay, and ignite the world around you. Ignite possibility. Ignite their smile. Ignite them to go home and have a great day and say, holy shit, that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. And then can you imagine? We slowly shift the inertia of the crap because we've been rotating in this really negative direction for a while. We slowly slow that. We change the spin. I don't know if you're hearing, but people are saying the spin rate of the planet is speeding up. Well, we're changing the dynamics of everything by just being in that love, being in that shine, being that angel self, doing to perfection what our job is, doing to perfection making toast, doing to perfection sweeping the floor, doing to perfection in brushing your teeth and showering, and just making it an art form and fun and playful. And then our body wakes up. It's no longer numb, and it's not just doing things by rote. It's now doing it because it feels good and it excites us and it's fun. So just some thoughts. These are the angel moments in our life. How many do you have? How do you make them? And how much of it is just you? Not waiting for somebody else to show up or somebody to ignite us or our dream lover or whatever. It's you. It's you doing you to the best of your ability, no matter how crappy it is. And you can just be in perfection of crying. You can be in perfection of being angry, being in whatever. But those are the angel moments, doing everything and feeling everything and knowing everything and accepting everything so deeply, and then just knowing that there's a perfection underneath. Even if it's gritty and messy, in time you're going to find out that gritty and messy was not there to kill you or hurt you. It was there to show you and to guide you and to wake you up and give you a smack in the face sometimes, or an ass, or a gentle loving hug. And that's what being an angel is. That is what waking up is, and that's what ascension is just being your best in absolutely everything that we can do. And thank you, Shaza. I totally agree, just being myself. Exactly. And that's bubbly, that's smiley, that's the hugger, that's the person that likes to hold people for extra long in a hug. It's the person that teases people out of their reverie or anger or whatever just by a smile or a funny joke. We are all angels. So some are just denser and more fearful and not ready. So tease them out. Be your best, show your example, and more are going to arrive. More are going to show up right before your eyes. So let the dance begin. Have a great day. I love you all.